Hey guys, Paul Counts here. Today we are talking about the online business model called dropshipping. So dropshipping is a business model where you're selling physical products, so physical goods, things like, it could be pet products, it could be chairs, it could be office furniture, it could be kitchen gadgets, whatever the case is, that is what dropshipping is. So it's where you're selling products for a profit online with your own store. Now you've probably shopped at many retailers online that actually are doing drop shipping and probably didn't even realize it. And one of the coolest things is that not everybody online shops at Amazon. Even though Amazon is a great big giant website, not everybody likes to shop there, not everybody actually shops there. And oftentimes people can find better deals or they just like to shop at other places. So there's a really great opportunity here to actually run an entire home-based business from your home, from your laptop, from wherever you want to be, from your hotel room. You can run it all from a laptop and oftentimes from your mobile phone as well. That's the beauty of the dropshipping business model. That's what we're talking about today. So just in a nutshell, here's what dropshipping is. So dropshipping is basically, this is how you spell it, so drop shipping. So it's where, the reason it gets its name is because products are going to come in, you're going to be purchasing products from a wholesaler, and then they're going to ship them directly to your customers. So that's what drop shipping is. So it's different from some e-commerce models where you're having to buy inventory in bulk. Now there's a couple, positives and negatives of drop shipping. Probably one of the biggest negatives is that your margins on your products are not going to be the best. Whereas if you were to buy them in bulk, obviously if you're buying in wholesale bulk quantities, your prices are going to go way down, so your cost of goods and then your profit's going to go up. Because at the end of the day, your profit margin is the difference between what you buy the products for from the supplier and then what you sell them for on your website. So as long as you have profit margin, you're going to come out ahead. And so this is where, drop shipping, it's got, again, like I said, there's cons to it and there's also great things. Probably the best part of it though is that you can sell a whole lot more products. If you're going to do the inventorying process, you have to have a warehouse to put the products, you have to be managing the shipping of the products, you have to pay people to ship the products, you end up having to incur all these extra costs for shipping supplies, all these other logistics. And so at the end of the day, your profit margin may actually end up the same as if you just stuck with drop shipping. And so that's why I like it, because it gives me that lifestyle freedom. It's a great business model to choose from. And I've had some great success with drop shipping. And so that's what we're here to tell you about. So again, drop shipping, first step is you have your product that you're going to buy. So you got your product here. So there's our product right here in this little box. And so you've got your product and you sell it on your website. So you sell it on your website. We'll put a $sign for that. The consumer is shipped the product. So we'll put a little truck here. The product is shipped to your consumer's house. They get their product, they're happy, and that's how the model works. The cool thing is that you're not having to inventory these products. So over here you've got your supplier. So you've got your supplier over here. So this is the person you buy the products from. So you're listing your products for sale. And so, you take products from your supplier, you list them on your website, and then the consumer buys their product, it gets shipped to them, they're happy, you're happy because you got paid. So let's lay this down in a little more, even simpler than this. Let's actually take it step by step and let me explain to you guys a little bit more here about how this model works. So let's just use some hypothetical numbers here for drop shipping. So let's just say that let's say that you've got an item, and let's say we're selling a pet feeder, let's say. And let's say this pet feeder is $30. So your cost is $30 to purchase this pet feeder from your supplier. So if you're going to pay $30 for this pet feeder, let's say your markup on that is $25. So you're going to mark it up $25 on your store. That markup means you're going to sell that product for $55. So $55. So there's the markup there on that product. So you've got a $55 for this particular pet feeder. If somebody buys that pet feeder, you're going to actually place an order on the supplier's website. So you're going to go to your supplier's website or you're going to email them and place your order. And you're going to pay them $30. The difference is between the $55 and the cost of the good, so your revenue generated is $55. The difference of the $30 product you bought, that is your gross profit. So your gross profit's $25 on that sale. Now there's still some other factors that go into play here though, because there are shipping costs. Now sometimes you could do a flat rate shipping option. We'll talk about those as we go along here, but you could price your products maybe with a flat rate shipping of $9.95. That seems to be a pretty safe bet because at least you're going to get a little bit of that money back, but you're not giving away everything because shipping costs have gone up. And again, you're not Amazon. You don't have all those logistics. So, and you're not trying to be Amazon either because you're not going to beat them. So you need to be very niche specific too, as we'll get into further on with this dropshipping training. So right there, that's your gross margin is $25. So again, just to reiterate here, your product that you want to sell, let's say it's a pet feeder, $30 is what you're going to buy it for, so you know that's your product. You do some research on these kind of pet feeders, you look at the brand name, you look at other relevant websites, your competition, which is super important to do with any business, is to actually look at your competition and what they're doing. And then you're going to go in and say, okay, I think I can sell it for $55. So then you have a $25 markup. You go to the supplier, you buy it from them, your difference is $25. Now, the other factors to consider though, your processing fees, so your credit card processing fees, which are usually about 2.5%, and we'll talk about those later on here. So you got your processing fees and then shipping. So let's say shipping is 2.5% of that, so 10% would be $5.50 off of that, and then so it'd be about $1.70 or so for processing fees. So let's say it's about $1.75, $1.75, and that means your credit card processor. So that's what that's going to be. And then your shipping cost, let's say it costs $10 to ship this product. So let's just keep it easy, $10 for shipping. Okay. So then you factor that in, that's $11.75 off your $25. And so then your actual gross profit on that product, or net profit, excuse me, is going to end up being about $14 or so in that range. So you're looking at $14 every time this pet feeder sells. Now you might be saying, why should I choose, this particular business model as opposed to some other ones where, like info products where you can actually sell and make a higher profit margin. And really the reason behind that is bulk quantity, right? And also the fact that some people view physical products in a different light as info products. I love info products. I think they're phenomenal. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now is an info product. And it's a business model that I'll continue to do because it is very high profitable. But there's a whole lot more, a lot of interest in pet products as well. So I can actually target, people that have pets. And again, most of the time people aren't just going to buy one product. They might buy multiple products. And so at that point, your margins are going to keep going up. You're going to make more money per transaction. But this is just a rough overview. So again, just to kind of put it back in perspective again, you find a supplier online. We'll talk about how to find a supplier. You find your suppliers, then you go out, you do your markup. Then once you're out there and you place your order, people go on your website and purchase, you go out and you say, okay, that's my difference, which is my gross profit. You factor in your credit card processing fees, so PayPal, your credit card merchant account, and then your shipping charges, and then that leaves you with your profit. So every time this particular pet feeder sells, I'm making $15. You do not have to inventory any of these products. You're actually uploading them onto your e-commerce store. So it's a really cool system. We're going to talk about several of these methods. We're going to talk about, how to find a niche, how to identify the niche market, where to actually get your inventory. Once we touch on that, we'll go over who to process your payments from and what platform should you use to host your store. And then we'll go into a couple of quick traffic methods. So we got a lot of cool stuff ahead when it comes to drop shipping, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, and we're back. In this video, we're going to be talking about what products to actually sell within your e-commerce store. So we're going to talk about identifying that niche market. Now we talked about earlier a pet feeder. I can tell you right now, pet products are a very popular item that many people want to buy online. So we're talking the collars, the leashes, the training devices, the pet feeders. There's a lot of cool electronic gadgets coming out. One thing I want to encourage you though when it comes to choosing your niche is I want you to be very niche specific. One of the biggest mistakes I've made with e-commerce is I went in and I thought I'm going to compete with Petco, right? So I put in all my effort into ranking for the phrase pet supplies, which actually generated a lot of traffic. We actually ended up getting a first page ranking for a little while, but we found that even with all this new traffic, people weren't really buying. But when you go back to really a core focus, like one of my e-commerce sites was focused on technology, pet technology, so it was pet tech products. And we're very specific. We only focus on dogs and cats primarily. We didn't have all the other feeders out there like birds and ferrets. We didn't get into all those. We were very, very specific, and that made such a big difference. And so I would encourage you, if you are going to go in a niche like pets or the survival space, whatever space you go into, that you're very niche specific to that. So like if you want to go in and say, well, I want to sell office supplies. Well, that's great, but that is, not very specific. But if you say, I want to do drop shipping for office chairs or lighting in an office or another kind of thing, seating or some other category within the office space, then I would encourage that. So, that's also, what I want to just encourage you guys is be very niche specific. So look at things that interest you for one. So the first part is look at things that interest you when it comes to your niche. So I'm going to write up here niche, and then number one is, oops, all right, let's redo that one there. So number one, interest. So what interests you? What kind of products do you purchase right now on the internet? What kind of products interest you when you go out to the store? Look at those types of things to determine, if it's something you want to sell. Another thing is look at, what's popular in the media. So popular. So what's popular out there? You've got, commercials that are playing. You've got celebrities, wearing certain kinds of makeup. You've got all kinds of fad diets. You've got different, like the survival niche is very, very big right now. It's a big, a lot of things. There's preppers. There's a whole TV show about it. So look at what's popular in the media to get some additional ideas. Also look at Amazon bestsellers. That's another way. So use Amazon. Again, we're not saying that you're going to be the next Amazon. We're just saying leverage them to see what is popular out there. Bestsellers would be another way. So Amazon bestsellers. Another really good idea, number 4, is the yellow pages. So yellow pages or Yelp is another good spot. So that would be going out to your local online directories or yellow pages if you still get a phone book and flipping through the different business categories. Look at the types of stores out there, look at what's selling, and then see if that triggers something for you as an idea for products you want to carry. So that's the first thing. These are just some very basic steps for saying, okay, this is the niche market that I want to be in. So first step, find your interest. Number 2, see what's popular. Number 3, look at Amazon bestsellers and browse through their categories. And number 4 is yellow pages or Yelp. So look at what kind of local businesses are out there, look at what kind of products they're selling, and look to see how you can serve that marketplace. So this is all about identifying your niche market. Once you identify that niche market, let's get into sourcing your products. So let's go here to sourcing the products. So the next thing we want to do here is once we've identified the niche market we want to go after, we want to source the products. So first step in that process, so I'm going to put up here sourcing. So that, again, product sourcing, that's where you find your products. Probably one of the most important parts that's going to dictate if you're going to be a success or failure with your dropshipping business. Because ultimately, you need to have good products that you can sell. So to get those products, here's one of the first things you can do is a simple Google search. So identify the products that you really like and then search for the manufacturer. So Google search for the manufacturers. So Google search the manufacturers. So let's say, for example, a popular pet product that I was selling a lot of back in the day was a pet feeder called the Ergo Pet Feeder. And I saw that advertised on many of the popular pet websites as well. The niche pet sites, actually Amazon as well. So I knew it was a popular product that people really liked. So I did a search online for Ergo, which was the name of the pet feeder at that time. And I found their company name, and I was able to call them and say, do you guys do drop shipping? And turns out they did. But oftentimes the manufacturer doesn't always do drop shipping. A lot of times they will say, one of two things. They're either going to say, well, yes, I drop ship, or they're going to say, no. Most of the time it's going to be no. And they're going to say, but I might have a wholesale supplier. So you could find out if they have a wholesale distributor that buys in bulk straight from them, and then that resells their products to resellers, because there's a lot of people that do that. So if the first answer is no, they don't drop ship, don't give up. Just ask them if they have a wholesale distributor. So that's the key word up here. Wholesale distributor that drop ships, because sometimes a lot of these manufacturers will sell in bulk to somebody that maybe has a warehouse, a big warehouse, and then they will ship it out from there, your particular product. So just be very specific when it comes to that. So look, you're looking for wholesale distributor that would drop ship. And so the easiest thing to do is browse the website. So find the products you're interested in, go into the stores of the products you're interested in, and make notes. Take little pictures of them. Whatever it takes when you're in the store to get an idea of what popular brands are selling, what brands you buy, what brands are in your house, if that's a niche you're going after, something you're interested in. But just look for the brand names that are selling and selling a lot of. So once you identify that niche, browse on Amazon, browse on other websites in your niche market, and see the brand names. Most of the time they use the brand names because that's a smart thing to do when it comes to SEO, because people identify with brands. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go out and you want to start carrying like Johnson & Johnson products and other very large brand names. Although those are great products, you're not going to have the best margins drop shipping those, for one. Number two, a lot of people are going to end up going to the bigger box stores to get those kind of products. You're looking for those kind of niche brands within the niche market you're going after. Kind of like Ergo, right? Ergo is not a brand that you see advertised on TV all the time, but they happen to manufacture pet feeders. So that is an idea. So there's another, really popular, products out there. There's the, Ergo pet feeder. There's the Pet Safe, Pet Mate. Pet Safe is actually a brand that sells in Petco, so it's very popular in the pet space, but they don't do commercials all the time. You don't see their ads on the Super Bowl. So there's little, niche markets like that within the sub-niches, and look for those categories. So search, that's the first thing. Google search for manufacturers, find their phone number, and call them. Easy as that. Or send an email. Another thing is to do a Google search for your niche plus drop shipping in quotes. So when you do your Google search, do niche names. So it could be pets, it could be golf, it could be dogs, plus, and then do the plus sign, and then drop shipping in quotes. The reason you want to do that is you want to identify the only websites Google is going to pull back for you are websites that do actual drop shipping in that particular niche. And then you're going to be able to come across manufacturers that you can talk to, that you can start talking pricing arrangements with, and work on getting your e-commerce store set up and going. So in the next video here, we've talked a little bit about the niche, we've talked a little bit about sourcing the products. It really is as simple as I just explained it. It's a matter of just going out there and making it happen. But ultimately, it's super, super simple. In the next video, we'll talk about what particular things you need to have in order for your business in order to get a reseller's permit, so you can start talking to the manufacturers and set up the accounts. After that, we'll go into what platform to set your store up on, how to upload your products, and then we'll go from there into how to get a little bit of traffic going to your new dropshipping website. And it's really as simple as that. It's not a complicated matter, it's just a matter of doing something and taking action on it. And it really is a simple business model. Hey guys, and we're back for another video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the next steps to getting your dropshipping business off the ground. So one of the things you're going to need in order to get relationships with these suppliers, especially at least the ones you're using here in the United States. Now if you're in the United Kingdom or other countries, you're going to have different policies there. But most of the time in the United States, when you're actually setting up your own e-commerce store, especially if you're dropshipping and buying in bulk, they're going to want to see what's called a reseller's permit. So a reseller's permit. And so you're going to need to go to the Secretary of State to get that. So usually you just do a Google search for Secretary of State and then your state name. So for me, I'm in the state of Washington. I would say Secretary of State, Washington State. And then I would go out there and follow their requirements to set up a business. You want to set up a business, and then you're going to want to apply for a reseller's permit. So the business application, it ranges by state. Generally, it's going to be about $100 to $200 for the whole process, and then you'll want to apply for a reseller's permit. And then once they get that to you, oftentimes you can expedite it by paying a little bit more, but you're looking at maybe a week to 2 week process. But it's good at that point because it gives you a chance to do your research, identify additional products that you could start carrying, but you're going to want to have this in place. Now, I won't say that every single supplier requires it, but most of the reputable ones, the bigger ones, they're going to require that you have this. So I'd be remiss not to share this with you. So you guys definitely need to have this in place. So this is your reseller's permit, and you'll need to get a business license. So a business license in order to get going. Okay, so there's your business license. That's the basics in order to get the ball moving. Next thing you're going to need, though, at this point is you're going to want to know your business name. You're going to want to get a domain name, and you're going to want to go through the next part of the process. So let's talk about your store's domain name. So now that you guys know you guys need a reseller's permit and you can go to the Secretary of State, we'll talk about getting your website domain. So the best thing to do is look at other, for your website domain, look at other businesses that are out there in your niche. So go out there, look at other online businesses that are similar to yours. So find the niche markets that interest you, the niche markets you're going after, look at the stores in those space, so find similar domain names. So similar URLs. Then the second thing you're going to want to do, look at how they're branding themselves. Look at, GoDaddy and just type in your niche phrase. So if you go to GoDaddy.com, it's a popular place to get your domains. Do a search for your niche. Do a domain search for just your niche. So it could be dog supplies, dog products, those kind of things. And see what kind of things pop up when you do that. You never know what kind of domain names might be available, which ones they're going to suggest to you, because they do a lot of suggestions. That's actually a really good way to go. The other option is there's a site out there called name.com, and they have a lot of search features as well. So they have some search features on their website, especially in the bottom left corner. They've got a really cool search feature that allows you to find niche markets that are domain names that are expiring. So find expiring domains. And I actually used this tool, the name.com, and found a really good expiring domain, and that actually propelled me into a niche market that I went into. So I wasn't even really looking at this niche until I found this really cool domain. So you could actually start here for your niche research if you really wanted to, and just go to name.com and look for their expiring domains. Or do a Google search for expiring domains and look for the different names that come up for different possible niche markets. So if you're in the makeup space, you can type in makeup and see what kind of expiring domains are related to makeup. To identify a domain, a lot of times with an expiring domain, you can get it for about the same price of a brand new domain. So an expiring domain is one that is just not going to be renewed and it's just going to come back online. So that's what an expiring domain name is. So you have to have the domain name. You need to get your business license, your reseller's permit in place so that you can start selling. Once you have your domain, you're going to want to need a logo. So you're going to need a logo design. So I actually found somebody on Fiverr. Most of us know about Fiverr. Obviously they do gigs for $5. For $5, he would have built a great logo for me. I paid him a little bit more because I wanted it done quickly. So I upgraded that. But for about $5 to $10, you can get a really fancy looking logo for your business. So Fiverr.com. So for, it's going to cost you about $5, but just do a simple search on Fiverr for logo design. And when you do this, be prepared to have other logos or other links to other websites in your space so they can get an idea. Or maybe you already have an idea of what color scheme you want to go with. Look at the color scheme within your niche market. You don't want to duplicate the big players in your niche. Obviously, you don't want to say, I want my logo to look like theirs. But if you give them a rough idea, they can see other, other websites within that space. And I feel a professional logo actually goes a long way. You could launch without one. It's completely possible. But I actually had one design. I used to be a believer that, just get it out there. And I still feel that way because ultimately you don't make anything unless you have buy now buttons online. That's plain and simple. So you're never going to make a dime unless you put something out on the internet. But what I found is that when you design a logo, it takes very minimal time to go to Fiverr, type in logos, and find somebody for $5 to $10 to do a logo. It really sets you apart, and it looks really, really nice. So I would encourage you to do that. So get a logo designed. It's going to be super simple. You could pay for little upgrades, like you want to get a transparent logo. To me, that's really important, so it's worth the extra $5 or $10 if they charge you for that. Because that way you can use that design on just about anything. So transparent logo is what you want to look for. So again, at this point, you got your reseller's permit, business license, domain, and now you've got your logo design going. And I feel a logo is really important. So in the next video, let's talk about who you're going to host your store with, and then how to get your merchant account so you can actually accept payments. Then we'll go into how to actually add, the process for getting products on your site so it's search engine friendly, and then how to launch your store to the web. So we're just about there to getting you going with your first e-commerce business. It really is as simple as I'm making it sound. It's all about just doing it and taking action.